Boyfriend left me on the road with broken leg, unable to get up. Now he says he misses me. On the 6th of October, my partner and I attended a medical ball that my workplace hosted. For some reference, I am a registered nurse and he is completing an electrical trade and an engineering degree. We had been on the rocks for a while, and the night before the ball we had gotten into quite a big fight. We'd fight about where our lives were taking us. He wanted to settle down in our small hometown and I had interests in moving away. Nonetheless, I was willing to settle down with him. However, in the end, it seemed like I was giving up a lot more of my future to suit his desires. I'd travel 100 kilometers to see him most of the time, but he'd complain that an hour was too long to drive to see me. He'd also do things like subscribe to OnlyFans accounts just to see my reaction. The night of the ball, the vibe was off. Despite me trying to introduce him to some of my work colleagues, or getting him to dance with me, all he wanted to do was sit at the table and scroll through Facebook. He would often just go outside and talk to his friends on the phone. When we were in the Uber, making our way back to my place, we had gotten into another argument, due to me questioning why he came to the ball, if his intentions were to sit outside and barely speak to me. He didn't like being questioned. He shut down my feelings. As we arrived back at my house, he decided to end things with me. He said it was due to us living 100 kilometers away from each other, and he said that we weren't compatible. At the time, this took me by surprise, and me being me, I started crying. He then proceeded to walk down the street and I ran after him to try and change his mind. As I done this, he also sprinted ahead. I was wearing heels at the time, and I was running that fast my legs couldn't keep up with the speed I was going, so I fell over quite hard. I could not get back up as my right knee and lower leg hurt too much. I was crying and screaming in pain that I needed help, and he just left me there. My phone was dead at this point, so I waited crying and yelling in agony until someone walked by and called me an ambulance. It turns out that I had a fractured tibia and I had completely torn my meniscus and PCL, strongest ligament in the knee. Fast forward 2 months and I have now had a knee reconstruction and am unable to weight bear for 6 to 10 weeks. He has recently messaged me saying how much he misses me and how incomplete his life feels without me. He didn't realize I had broken my leg and messed up the inside of my knee. However, I don't think that's any excuse. Personally, I think if he cared about me or had any human decency, he wouldn't have left me crying in the middle of the road unable to get up. I'm just looking for some advice for what I should do. Update: thank you for all the comments. A few questions I've seen raised here. In the message I received from him on Saturday, he said how he missed me and his life was incomplete without me. He then went on to say he has next to no will to live and isn't doing well. I guess this has pulled on my emotional strings a little. Did he know afterwards about the damage caused to my leg? Yes, he did. The hospital called him as he was my emergency contact. He didn't answer and they left a voicemail. The following day, he tried to contact me. He explained that in the moment he couldn't have cared less what happened to me, but he felt bad for having that thought. He then had the audacity to ask me to be friends as he still generally cared about me. Putting this into writing actually sounds ridiculous. I currently am engaging in psychotherapy. After being raised by a narcissist, I often find it difficult to leave someone on my own accord. I'm working on it though. For my entire life, I've been made to feel like I'm the problem, or I'm the one who should apologize and welcome people back into my life with open arms, and after living with a narcissist for 21 years of my life, excluding this year as I moved out of home, it is hard to break the cycle. My ex-partner would say he'd change and be the perfect boyfriend for a while until things would get back into their normal shitty cycle, and toward the end he would become more aggressive, especially when he drank alcohol, which was nearly on the daily. I think by putting up this post and others here confirming my own thoughts, I don't feel like a bad person for keeping him out of my life. I'm still going to remain engaged in therapy as I do have a lot of issues regarding my own self-respect, and realistically even feeling bad for the guy shows how little regard I have for myself. Although while I have a lot of physiotherapy to do, but the worst part is, I have so much time to just sit with my own thoughts while I'm practically immobilized, and I always try to see his side of things. I wish I didn't do this as much as I do. Ex-boyfriend? He broke up with you? Block him and move on. I would say run as fast as you can, but in your case hobble as fast as you can. This is not a good relationship and is very unlikely it will get better. Click them. Kick them up. Give. Versenschuld, German for speeding away from someone. And once they are all healed, get yourself some boots. Those made for walking. And walk a lover his stupid face? Block and live your best life, really. Don't reply. Not worth it. And no, you do not get back with him. He wrote you some sentimental BS because he hasn't found a nuke by now, and you are better than having noon around Xmas time. DONT. It is cuffing season after all. Everyone likes someone around at Christmas. A girlfriend is not just for Christmas op. After he subscribed to OnlyFans to get a reaction. I'd have left his sorry ass, they can keep him company. Yup. The hard part is done. You're broken up. He just wants to string you along until someone else comes along to scratch his itch. It is not in your best interest to take him back. Someone find her a wheelchair and roll her the fuck away from this guy's stat. And with a broken leg no less. He said that we weren't compatible. Just send this sentiment back. You might add, I need a considerate boyfriend. We're not compatible. A text is the maximum he deserves from you before you block him. He didn't have to know the full extent of your injuries to show compassion. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. I would literally just text back. Lol. So he knows I've read it, then block. Ultimate power move? This guy is a tool, just cut your losses, do some more healing and demand better from the next one. Or one of my favorite texts to Gucci bags. Who's this? Yes, I've done that as well. So, I have you in here as, which one are you? I love that. Save it for hard times. This. I'm petty though and I like closure, so I text back. I haven't missed you at all. Whatever love I had died for you when you left me screaming on the ground. I fell and broke my leg. I couldn't get help. I had to wait for a stranger to hear my screams and find me to get medical help. You are a callous, self-centered, useless child. I will never forget your back walking away, never looking back and leaving me alone. I am content that that is the truest picture of who you are. You should not have bothered to look back now. For the record, any more attempts by you to contact me will be considered harassment. I do not want to speak or hear from you again. Then block him everywhere. If you genuinely come from a small town, I'm shocked no one told him, and I find it super suspect that he texted like he knows nothing. This right here, I wish I could give them an award. I'll send him the best quirky movie suggested. Saying something like that is for you. It's not for them. It's knowing that they know you know what they did and that they burned any bridge with you hard. I've found if you don't tell people when they seriously injure you, you're literally, they use that to deny they could have ever known. There's no way she fell and broke her leg and screamed in pain and he didn't hear the difference in the way she screamed. It takes a cold fucker to hear animal pain and run away. But unless you call it out, that dude will be like, I never knew. I didn't mean. She's crazy. You weren't in a good place before this. Your incompatibilities don't go away just because he misses you. It will lead back to the same place, so save yourself the heartache and block him. No. Don't reply. That's crap not worth engaging in. Don't waste time with that one anymore. Block without a reply. Holy shit. The fact that you are even considering taking him back screams that you need to be single for a long time. Your meter for what is acceptable and healthy in relationships is completely fucked. You need a hard reset and lots of time off from dating. You must learn to love and respect yourself before you can expect to find a respectful, loving partner. I think also an important note. He was literally running away from her when her leg broke. If that isn't both metaphorical and literal at the same time, I don't know what is. Girl, pick your self-worth up off the ground and date someone who will be a light in your night at medical balls and never let you get hurt. The imagery of her chasing after this zero is actually painful. As a woman, our inclination to form deep emotional attachments to the people in our lives, no matter how undeserving, is frankly embarrassing at times. Yeah, I literally cannot imagine chasing down someone who spent all night neglecting me and acting sour. Definitely a painful image and just degrading. I think people of all genders can get so caught up in the insanity of love that they don't realize how foolish and taken for granted they've been until they're past it and able to look back. Someone who spent all night neglecting me and acting sour. Not just this, he straight up broke up with her. Block that pass and move on. He is not your boyfriend. Fuck him. Seriously, he dumped you, left you with a serious injury and walked away when you needed help, and you're seriously wondering what you need to do. Tell him to fuck off, block him, cut contact. He's trash. Take out the trash. And never ever run after any partner ever again. Get back on your feet and look for a job in the bigger city you always wanted to move to. You just jettisoned the dead weight keeping you back. What should you do? Honey, block that gigantic tool bag and never, ever, ever, ever respond to him. Remember, he left you on the side of the road with a broken leg. Come on. Think. I mean, I don't know what you want from us. Are you hoping we'll tell you that his constant indifference is totally fine and that he's turned his life around now, and you should totally get back with him? Have you read this sub like, at all? He's shown you who's more important in your relationship. You just rest up and heal. He is such a red flag that the universe literally slammed you down from chasing after him and put you out of commission to chase after him at all. What do you mean? What should I do? You should get a therapy appointment if you don't know what you should do. Why are you even questioning the result of such a toxic breakup? Come on now.